the number of firsts that Grace Bumbry had in her career are legion, too many to count. But, in the same column that we talk about Marian Anderson being, a first, Grace Bumbry was a first in so many different places. And I think that is because the talent and the artistry was just so extraordinary that she was able to break down barriers where others before had sadly not yet been successful.
Speaking of breaking down barriers, this is something that opera theater continues to do. Because even after all these years, I still think they're trying to get that inclusion, trying to bring in not just new talent, but new audiences.
Even when we have successfully created real spaces of diversity on our stage, we have not always been as successful in the ranks of our company, in the ranks of our board, and certainly not in the ranks of our audience. And it's something to which we have turned all of our attention, because the learning is that when we create spaces that are authentically inclusive for company members, we create spaces that will be more inclusive for our audience, and we can actually create an environment that welcomes new audience members, people of color, people who are queer, people who just don't think that opera might be for them, and that we can actually broaden this art form. Maybe it's an opera theater cliche. We can literally broaden the tent for more people to feel at home and find meaning and connection in this magnificent art form. I think that's particularly important as we consider the legacy of Grace Bumbry. This is a woman from St. Louis, one of the many extraordinary alumni of Sumner High School, who, through extraordinary artistry, connected with people and brought people together and broadened who opera could be for and who could see themselves on an opera stage. That it's a legacy that we've been thinking about a great deal, because she was also a great advocate, especially in her later years, for greater inclusion in opera and for the work that institutions and communities needed to do to make opera and opera companies more authentically inclusive places. That's a legacy that she spoke profoundly about when she was at our at Opera Theater in 2016. I wasn't there, but I've heard that she spoke beautifully about those questions, about the way that St. Louis propelled her career. And so I think that legacy of what St. Louis can be and how we can foster greater inclusion in opera, and that legacy of her extraordinary artistry, all of those things are legacies that we have to continue to think about as we think about crafting the future of this art form for the next generation of artists and of adoring audiences.
Andrew Jorgensen is General Director of Opera Theater of St. Louis. Andrew, thanks for joining us.